Right then, okay. And just about ready. Excellent. Right, okay, so yep, turns moved across. We're good. We are good. Sometimes I do wonder if I'm getting everything right. I mean, I do have a dreaded feeling that what if Dadman hasn't sent the correct turn and I've waited a long time? But oh well, I'm sure we'll be fine. It is early, I'm sure people will tell. Subway screen doors, indeed, yeah. The turn I sent to him was called an eye for an eye, a sub for a sub. Which if you guys aren't sub, maybe you should subscribe here at Twitch. And on YouTube too. Wink wink, nudge nudge. How you doing there, Dutchy? Good to have you, my man. How are you doing this morning? Okay, so move into the 25th of February. It's quite amusing, actually, to say that when we did start February, we didn't have Manila, we didn't have Bataan, we didn't have Rangoon, etc. I'm doing alright. Feeling the allergies a little bit today. Must be something. Must be something. Anything expected from the turn? We will be attacking the Lang Cow today. We do see the perch over here. I am sending these DDs out towards BLeAcHACiD. It does seem like he is patrolling this area here then with his submarines. Hey, Demet Shiva, good to have you, my man. Yeah, so we'll be attacking Lang Cow. I don't think there's many attacks really. Wow, that's a shitload of subs. Holy moly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least 5 subs there. How you doing there, Vulcan? Good to have you, my man. Yeah. Well, we see then another submarine over there. So looking at least 6 submarines in that area. He does tend to double stack them sometimes as well. Sea Dragon. Okay. So no, this area is pretty dangerous there. Oh, about to go swimming. That sounds pretty nice, actually. That does sound pretty nice. Have a good time, man. Yeah, that sounds really nice, that. You'll have to tell me one day where you live about in Turkey there, Avoken. I think I've been to the... Ooh, where is it called now? Was it Mercia? No, I don't think it's Mercia. I've been to southern Turkey, and I can't remember the name of the actual region. I believe it began with like a an M, but I can't recall exactly. Kudasai. I'm not too familiar with where that is actually, but it sounds nice. Yeah, and it's getting warm, isn't it, Dutchy? Mersin. Is that it? Oh, right, yeah. I always used to think it was Murcia, but then I think I confused it with Murcia in Spain. Quite a few years. Here we go. So he's bombarding Tulagi. Which honestly I'm not too surprised about. I mean, it's really intriguing because he's kind of settling into this pattern now of hitting Tulagi. But in a lot of ways, it might sound actually really contradictory, but I'm actually quite happy he's bombarding Tulagi. It does show that he still has a presence here in the Coral Sea, so it still indicates that there are still targets, I suppose you could say. We will be moving down to the Tulagi area to build it up in the near future. It does give me hope because I don't know. Oh, we have 1 damage Mavis, that kind of sucks. A couple more destroyed, but actually disabled. It does give me hope because then it's like, well, maybe the cows are still in the Coral Sea. I do have an overwhelming feeling that he has left. Ooh. That was fortunate there. How you doing there, Palantir? Good to have you, my man. That was fortunate there. Yeah, so Zuya moving north there to Singapore. She was about to require a lot more in the way of repairs there. I'm making a new one, Pacific mod where allies bomb Soviet oil fields. Oh, that's really cool. God, I can imagine that would make for one hell of an Iron Man scenario. Right, so Suzuya there makes it through unscathed, hit but no explosion, thank God. We do seem to be getting more of those as of late, which is nice. How you doing there, Alexander? Good to have you, my man. How are you going in Bavaria? Yeah, the cursed timeline. How you doing there, Chaplains? Okay. We should have supply arrive at Port Blair. Okay, so he's got his ships out there. I don't know why I'm away. I have to think that sometimes. Right, same reports of ships down there. Interesting. I would like a sight to the carriage just so we could at least work out what exactly he's doing. No, we are going to be moving towards Wake. That is the next objective there. I thought it ended in April. Was it March, April time? I don't think it ends in February, but I can't recall. Oh wow, that's pretty early. Right, so do we have a couple more hits there on the runway at Moresby? Yeah. So we've got a fair bit of time, which is okay. So started to bomb the actual runway out here. And the reason is I'm looking for, like, the runway... Yeah, there we go. Sorry, the supply dump hits is what I want there. Supply dump hits. I'm not too sure. I believe it's a percentage, like, how much is destroyed. But essentially destroying any supply is worthwhile. Yeah. Well, that is the next operation. As the temporary pause at truck, we're going to get things reorganized. Well, get things organized for it. Quite a few supply dump hits, actually. I think we're only going in about 5,000 feet. I've not seen any sort of flak, which is nice and encouraging. I think they only have, like, the AAMGs, actually. I still have Vulcan, have a good time swimming. Yeah, just truck along. Right, so we do have 6 airbase supply hits, though, which is quite nice. Yeah, 5,000 feet there. Puts us outside the range of the MGs I believe he has. I did have these guys and realised they've been sat at Bitan for... Well, sorry, they've been sat at Clark for some time. I thought, you know, I might as well go ahead and hit supply dumps over here and actually try to worsen his situation, really. Plus, it's good experience for them, I suppose you could say. So 7 airbase supply hits there. I could have them actually ground attack, in fairness. But I find hitting the supply is usually better, as disabled still fight either way. Alright, so we do see these I-15s. I do have, well, in fairness, there's 2 groups of Key 43s now, but one group did transfer. The second group that transferred in is running cap in the area, but obviously they might not fly because they just transferred in. The Philippine Air Force, I'm going to keep a good chunk of it for Mindanao, but yeah, a lot of it will be transferred into China, really. Well, this is it. We'll see about that. We need to take China before we move on to anything else, really. So we'll decide, really. We'll have to decide. India remains an option. The Soviets remain an option. I think it depends, really. We'll see where we do take China. We'll see what sort of state we're in. What a state he could be potentially in. And go from there, really. The good news is that if we do decide against the Soviets, then, well, it's us who starts the war. Right, we do see some ships out there in the Philippine Sea then, so I'm going to go ahead and hunt those down then. It would be nice to see it. But it looks to be fairly quickly if it just moved out there. Yeah, we'd have to go about it in a very particular way. We'd have to set up capturing US bases and capturing Soviet bases on the extremity of Siberia, and just really try to make it impossible for him to actually transfer any aircraft. But that's why having the illusions will be very important as well, just to really push it out further and further. And for a yen and for a katana, indeed. Right, so we do have an attack over here at Langkao. So we do see there 2 Chinese base forces. One of them is destroyed, but it's essentially a 8th war area, and the 8th Chinese base force there. I imagine we're going to win. I do hope that we do take Langkao intact. I do have aviation support moving north already, so we will have to move in. Yes, there we go, we'll capture Langkao, the target of our dreams here, really. Yeah, very strong. They have at least 10,000 AV in infantry and like 2,000 to 3,000 or more in armored. So it's not an easy... Yeah, there we go. Gotcha. As we get the 3 I-16s and we get the 3 I-15s there. Nice. No casualties on our end because the Chinese really don't have anything to deal with these tanks here. So 1,771 casualties, 17 destroyed, 26 disabled, 147 destroyed, 42 disabled, 8 destroyed, 3 units retreat there. We'll consider, well, we're going to obviously oh no, that's nice actually, so I don't even need to shock attack them, because we can just move straight on up here now, which is quite nice. We'll see about that. We're taking this base over here today. Yeah, exactly. They do have some good aircraft. They do have a lot of poorer aircraft, but highly maneuverable aircraft. Oh yes, I'm bombarding with one longer range 15 centimeter battery. Unless they're all set to bombard, in which case I thought it would only be one unit, but it looks like multiple are doing it, which it only should have been the one there. Okay. I just wanted to get an idea of how much AV he has there. Right, okay, so we see 43 there, 1 destroyed, 4 disabled then on his side, but so that's not too bad. I do have a brigade and another division moving up. I do have a headquarters moving up over here then. So we can see that is a decent amount of AV there. Right. Shock attack. Oh, did we cross the river? Okay, we crossed the river. I think they're in movement mode, actually. It looks like they'll still have it. Oh, the Medan Garrison Battalion surrenders, which is nice. Oh, there we go. And they retreat towards the base then. I think they were in movement mode, actually. I didn't realise there was a river there. Oh no, was I in the correct mode? It looks like I might have been in the correct mode after all. Sometimes I forget about these. Okay, so we have 6 disabled on our side. We destroy 508, so we destroy 28 there, 20 there. Not bad. So we can carry on moving towards the base over here, which is nice. I was initially going to go for it amphibiously, but I'm thinking, well, I've got the roads here. It's secondary roads, but it's not that far away. Deliberate attack over here at Maxar Garrison Battalion. I hate these guys so much, but we're destroying them slowly, but surely. It's ridiculous, though. Well, the thing is, we can have some very good airframes by that time. I mean, obviously, we'll still have Zeros, we'll have exits are made. It's going to be one of those where we'll take it by ear, really. It might very well be that we go for India instead. We'll have a choice, really. We'll have a choice. It might be worthwhile exploring the option of the Soviets, but we'll see about now. Okay. So a good turn for us then. Relatively quiet. We do see a bombardment to Tulagi, but, well, we expected that one in all honesty. I just hope that we can get a sight of the carriers down that way. It does worry me because if we're not seeing carriers down that way, it means that elsewhere. I mean, maybe he's kept them down by, like, Sydney or something for a while. Alright then. So we'll go ahead and make a quick save, then we'll check pilot losses, etc. Well, this is it, really. Yeah, the scenario, the game would end in 1946. I think the issue is, well, do we want to face them in 1945 or do we want to face them early? But the thing is, it's not nice to face them either way, really. But we'll see what we can manage. If we do take Siberia, we can actually hold on to Siberia. Interesting, we've actually lost sight of him so far. We know that he has a few assets out this way, so it looks like he might have been poor weather in the area today. Yeah, exactly. What's that sound? Indeed, exactly. I do have a couple subs moving out this way, a couple more subs moving that way. I might go ahead and actually transfer, so I've got the longer range subs moving out from Kopang. I might go ahead and actually transfer these additional subs to this area, and I could probably might be worthwhile to have them in Bay of Bengal. If we make it very difficult for him to operate in Bay of Bengal, that could be quite useful for us. But we'll see about that. So we'll go ahead and we'll check on the aircraft losses and etc. today. So yeah, he loses 4 it seems, and 4 I-15s and 4 I-16s apparently. We have a Key 43 go down to Ops and a T-4A, which I'm not even entirely sure which aircraft that is. Ship sunk today, nobody is listed, indeed by the Emperor. Okay. You know, I've never actually used the kamikaze. That could be really intriguing. Right. So they're marching north. It's going to take some time. Right, I do have issues over here at Tungi. We do have our forces over here at Mandalay. I'm not too sure if they can actually take that. Let's see. I think we will order a deliberate attack. I can't imagine he has anything much in there. So we'll go ahead and order said attack. Now, if I take a look then, we have the jungle roof over here. We also have this road here. That road, I'd wager, is secondary. When it comes up, that is. Come on, R. I think I'm going to go ahead and change the map mode very soon as well. So I could march that way, but I do think it's worthwhile marching this way to make sure that we have this hex, well, to have control of that road there. I think that's worthwhile. Well, perhaps, really. If I've got them over here at Mandalay, there's no point really marching them over here to Mandalay. I'll have them march this way, perhaps. We don't know if there's anything on this road, and I do need to make sure I control the Times 3 train. I don't want to have him setting up shop somewhere, really. So we'll begin them marching this way. Got plenty of other units, we can take this area, no problem. But if I can take that road, then at least we have control of that road there. Okay. So we do have our forces moving north, so I do have 7th RTA over here. Yeah, right, okay. I could do with units over here to cover this. Maybe I have them march back south so I can cover this. Maybe. We'll go with that. I mean, that one can be dealt with. Even if they do move on to the Times 3, it's annoying, but they're going to be beaten up. Okay. I'll take a look at the situation when I can surround them. It might... I mean, it's one of these things. We don't have to do it immediately, so we'll look at what we need to do then to force them to surrender later. Yeah, T-Faith Force would be nice. So, we do have our forces over here. I did break them up, the divisions there. The reason being actually helps them to recover quicker, but also just in case he actually did come in to bombard, at least there's more targets, so the dispersal of fire is greater. Yeah, the TIE Force is looking good. I mean, we only had one TIE Force that really took a major hit, which is this one over here, the 6RTA/A, and that's recovering. It's about 27 AV. Obviously, there's a lot less in the way of disabled, so it lost quite a few men, but it will recover to some extent. And eventually, well, it'll be alright. It'll be alright in the end. Moving over that way. So if I reform the divisions then... Oops. Right, reform here then. So I'm looking at 27, 28, 6, 7, which is not that bad. CTOE is looking really nice there. He does have his armoured forces over here then. We do want to set a bombing campaign against them. I do have forces, I do have 3rd RTA. They're still unpacking, but they're going to essentially march along this way. I'm going to have units move across onto this road over here to secure said road. I don't want to allow him to move into Burma, cause problems. But in fairness, I don't know really what he can do to cause us problems in Burma. He's kinda... I mean, Burma has essentially collapsed. There's really not much in the way of actual resistance left. 25th Army Headquarters marching north, which is good. And we do have 5th Division over here. Yeah, so 5th Division will begin marching today, so they're not... Yeah, they're not too far out. 2, 4, 6, 8. So about 8 turns away from Magway, give or take. We'll attack Magway at that point then. What I'm going to do here then is we're going to have the 7th RTA march into Magway. The reason being I want to control that hex side as well. So then if I can control the road in and out... do I even control that roadway in there? Apparently not, which is weird. I control it on this side. I thought we marched across over here. Oh no, that unit arrived there from the south. Right, okay, never mind. So I might have them actually cross over this way then. Maybe. Yeah, then they marched north, didn't they? Okay, that makes sense now. 7 gears. Okay. So I do have tank regiments moving out as well. And the tanks will come in really handy. The artillery is going to march north. And what I plan to do with the artillery is have it move likely through the mountains, so it really enables to grind through the Chinese forces pretty quickly. That'd be ideal. Okay. So we're looking fairly good in Burma. There's not much that can be said there, it's just inevitably we will take control there. There's nothing that he can much do about it. So we do have supply that has arrived over here. So it hasn't yet begun to unload. Well, it's actually unloaded, but the supply hasn't yet unloaded. We do have a little bit of naval support over here, which does help us out. Once we get to level 3 port, then at least we'll be able to dock more ships and actually speed things up, really. I could potentially dock these ships in here. I'll go ahead and try that. I think it's about 12,000 tons. So that's 11,000 tons. I might be able to get that. No, is it too small? Oh, there's already ships that are docked. Right, okay. Which ones are already docked? Oh, these PBs over here are docked. Okay. Right, we'll dock them in here then. They can unload. So at least that'll expedite the unloading of that supply. Yes, that's 1,591 supply there. Burma is not yet completely secured, but there's not much you can do about Burma. It's just simply a case of moving into the interior and just taking these bases now. We also do want to get that base in the near future as well. We'll have division, the 5th division over here soon. Imperial Guard division's preparing to march onto this hex over here. So I can hit those units and try and drive them off, really. I do need to go ahead and get some units sorted out to move here. It's not that hard to surround them, really, so I just need to get it bloody well done, don't I? But I don't know. Sometimes I think it's harder to actually try to surround them. But it would be worthwhile doing, really, here where we have control of the situation. Yeah, the iron bamboo curtain of Burma, indeed. We'll sort it. I do have a fast transport mission out here. So they're not yet loaded up. They do have about 4,231 supply, though. I may ship out with the 4,000. I do have these guys over here loading fuel as well. We might go ahead and just ship them out there, really. That's 16... fuel there. So I could do with having some fuel over here at Port Blair to keep the actual ships functioning, essentially. Okay. So I did send these fellows out here to Sabang. The reason being, I had completely forgotten that I needed to build up an airfield to the south, so I'm actually going to go ahead and send them south. I can use them over here, actually. I'm going to build up an airfield at Benkalis first, and then we'll have them sent out to, likely to Little Andaman Island. Thais do not in this. There is a mod where they do add in the Thai forces that I believe they historically would have had. Or at least closer to the mark of what they should have had. Right, so these are moving south into Medan. Okay. Right, so they were in combat mode then. I need to have more faith. Right, we'll march on that base over there. Yeah, so if I take a look, there are a couple bases. There's a dot base over here, so this is the other dot base I was looking for. 80 resources, quite nice. Yeah, Port Blair. And then we have over here. So there's quite a lot of resources in Sumatra there. But I do need to deal with that. Just need to take Padang then. The airfield does make it easier. In fairness, I could just have a mission move around this way, or a mission move around the northern coast. I don't like having to move around large amounts of coastline, but that's probably the easiest way to go to Padang. Might be just the simplest case to go around here. At least I do have Palembang to cover that then. We do have air power to cover here, which is nice. These submarines out here are a pain in the arse. But I do have here 23 ships. These are moving out towards Singapore, though I might potentially have them in Palembang. I think I prefer to keep actual AKs around Singapore because they're a little bit more protected than Palembang. I do worry about the possibility of him bringing in carriers and port striking perhaps, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's not that likely, I guess. I could keep about 9 ships in port there, and that would reduce the ability for him to hit, really. But we'll see. I'm trying to find more Ansoyus. No, not Ansoyus. Kisos. So need a couple more ACMs, actually. Mine tenders, essentially. And the reason being, we don't have a lot of mine tenders. We have a lot of mines all over the place that just degrade because we just simply do not have enough mine tenders to actually look after that amount of mines. Kind of crazy. Sazuya. Yeah, she got quite lucky there, so she had a torpedo hit her, but it didn't explode, thankfully. So she'll make it into Singapore tomorrow, where she can actually be repaired. See you later there, Chapman. Have a good one, my man. Don't lose my baby girl Congo. I won't drop 3 sons. I like that. Oh, dear. Right, we're moving out over here then. So the 16th Reconnaissance Regiment and the 8th Tank Regiment has arrived there. Looks to be the 1 unit there. I do need to go ahead and drop paratroopers over here, but I don't know if it's going to be necessary, really. It looks like we had pretty poor weather in this area because I don't have... Well, actually, no, I do have detection here. Oh, has he moved the troops out? It looks like he might have moved the troops out over here, then. That's annoying. Hey, Dinner Bannon, good to have you, my man. Well, that's unfortunate. If he has moved the troops down to Surabaya, then I guess we'll move in and take Surabaya. He's likely to move them down here to Malang. Kind of a pain in the backside. I do have some Key 43s over here. We do have a Koi. That one can go into combat mode here. They only take about a day to unpack, which is nice. I do have another Koi moving out. Not that one. But I might be able to shift that one up, to be honest, because I don't think it's really required there anymore. And I could start to hit the airfield again over here, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I mean, obviously it'd be worthwhile. Hey, you doing that, Hanami? Good to have you, my friend. And I should be doing that, in fairness. 366 here. I did move out the Key 43, so I'll have to find another bomber group just to go ahead and keep hitting that airfield, really. At Bandwang. So I do have my regiments over here, then, which have arrived. So I'm going to tell them to go ahead and... Actually, no. If I tell them to attack now, they could retreat this way. Once I take that base... There is a road here on the coast, so I do need to take this base as well. But what we're going to do then is we're going to move in then. And if Surabaya is empty, and it looks to be empty, then we'll move in and we'll take Surabaya. The Naval Guard unit would be quite good for that. Because it's 61 AV, so they could take that and garrison it immediately, which is nice. But yeah, Surabaya, taking Surabaya in type would be quite a prize. 191 fuel there. Sorry, 191 oil there is really nice. We do have 171 refineries, 21 heavy industry, and 41 light industry. That industry there would be excellent, frankly. We're going to go ahead and check on our prize at Langkauden today. Please be intact. Yes! Oh, yes! Oh my god, yes! Okay. That is hot. Okay, that shit's hot. Oh, excellent. Yep, so the manpower was damaged there. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty there. So we do capture 60 resources, we captured 90 oil, we captured 90 refineries, we capture 60 light industry. I think you can have 91 oil here. I feel like it was 91 oil. No, it's 90. That's interesting. Well, there we go. So that is Langkao captured, which is fantastic. I mean, that really, really goes a long way in cutting off northern China. And the beautiful thing is, though, is we have these armoured regiments over here, and we've seen that they're just not touched by the Chinese units, because they just lack anti-tank. The units that are breaking down here, the tanks that are breaking down essentially because of just wear and tear, rather than enemy action, really. One question, why not take the Philippine Air Force for sub-hunting? The thing is, we do have ASW pilots, and we do have jigs that will be doing that. The light bombers, the thing is, it's not so much the aircraft, well, the aircraft doesn't matter per se. Float planes are good because you can use them in many locations around airfields, but it's more so a case of pilots. But if I show you over here, we are getting ready now to base... Well, to start setting up the ASW to allow for the convoys of fuel, sorry, for oil to move. So these guys over here, you can see, well, these guys are trained, but you can see that there's a lot over here with 69 ASW, 70 ASW there. These guys are still training here. If I take a look at the other group, and that's a lot of float planes there for us to use. with really good ASW pilots. You can see here all in 60s besides these guys. These fellas over here, 60s and 50s. So we are getting up there. We do have quite a few 70 skill ASW and 60 pilots. 60 and 70. So the idea is we're going to go ahead and get this set up in the near future. Essentially have a number of bases set up. We're just getting the actual assets moved out to put forces there. Well, in the field, really. Right, I do need reconnaissance there, but I think it was empty. We do see that it has his units over here at Cagayan. We do have our division moving north, and so 38th Division is moving back to China. And I'm going to have these LSDs actually docked away in safety, so they do not get lost. But yes, we're going to be moving out there. We do have our other division on the way. So we have 4th Division over here marching, well, on the rail lines north. It might have been quicker to actually have them move out by a ship, actually. Oh well. I do have these other APs moving down this way so we can actually transfer additional forces. We're going to be looking at transferring 2 divisions down here to Mindanao. That'd be ideal. So looking pretty good there. Yeah, okay. So Manila. Yeah, I mean, having a bigger bomb is good. It is definitely better. The Jake is great because it has 4 60-kilogram bombs, which are quite nice. It doesn't make a tremendous difference, really. It does and it doesn't. It's one of those things of like, yeah, it's good. But the Jake has good amount of range. It's like 8 normal radius, which is about 4 ASW. Which is fine. Obviously, we can have 5 hexes of ASW, but I mean, the thing about ASW is it cuts that range in half. The Jakes are just good for it, really. They carry 4 60-kilogram bombs where they won't cause as much damage, but there's a higher chance of hitting, as far as we understand. Okay. Oh, the DMS has already finished repairing. Excellent. I put a DMS into port of Manila, sorry, into shipyard of Manila yesterday, and they've already finished repairing, which is nice. And we still have our DMS over here. She's been repaired. You can see that flotation damage has decreased there. When that flotation damage decreases yet further, we'll have her moved out to Manila so we can save her. I'm just happy that she made it. LSTs. Okay. They're quite fortunate, actually, because the light cruisers are only there. What I could go ahead and do then is dispatch something to catch that. Right, moving east. So we'll just aim for the bad way. Go and catch them, really. And the real dive bombers, at least at the points where he's camping. And dive bombers are okay, but the aircraft we have are fine enough, really. It's better to use the Jakes, in all honesty. It's one of those things of, well, we have the dive bombers, we can make use of dive bombers for what they're good at, really. Yeah, perfect training for the IGA on the Marianas, indeed. Well, what I might go ahead and do then is actually transfer a detachment to G4 and ones over here to, like, Saipan, maybe, or to Bagan. Bagan's a size 2 airfield, it's expanded into a size 3 airfield soon. Yeah, I could transfer a detachment out there. Go for that one. Clear skies over Bagan, which is nice. There we are. Right, so they may not fly this turn, but that's okay. So you can see that's 21 hexes from where they are right now. So obviously, when they do move out, we should be able to keep a tab on them. And we can even potentially attack them with our bombs as well, which is nice. Just watch the replay. Nice job catching those planes of Lankao. Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, also nice for the Suchao. That was nice. Oh, Sochao. No, sorry, not Suchao. Suzuya. I was thinking that doesn't sound right. I don't know where I got Suchao from. I was thinking, I was just saw a city in China. I thought, oh yeah, that's the name of the heavy cruiser for some reason. We saw ships down this way. Ah, I weren't far off. I guessed he'd move there, but I wasn't too far away. Okay, moving southwest. He bombarded Talagi again. We did have one damaged Hastings K4, which we saw wasn't lost, which is nice. Yeah, so, but not too bad, really. We do need more supply over here at Talagi, that is a pain there. But what we will be doing then is, I think we'll look at doing it either this turn, or very soon, very soon, we're going to have the construction units move south to this area over here. We'll begin building that area up immediately. I do have the submarines over here. They did dock, and they were saved. We are going to have fuel moved out this way to actually get them moving out. Right, one of them has arrived over here, which is nice. Right, okay, well, I meant to have them head south there. But in fairness, I might as well have them head back then to Rabaul. Having more supply over here at Shotlands isn't a bad thing. So they can unload that supply, then head back to Rabaul. We'll get supply headed south and to Talagi then. I don't want to send like an egg carrier with just 165, it's not much worthwhile. Give us the American MacArthur Express. Do we see the British BPs? No, we don't have much in the way of sightings out here at this moment in time. They're likely out here somewhere. They might have retired out to Calcutta, perhaps, which is not too bad. It might be bad weather, of course, in the area. But in fairness, when it was that he would come in here and bombard, that doesn't appear to have actually happened. Okay. So I do have army headquarters moving across here. We could potentially attack today. It might be worthwhile to... But then again, it doesn't get much better. The disruption kind of sucks, but I don't think it'd make a tremendous difference, really. So we might go ahead and attack today. Okay, so minusing 20 here, which might be down to bad reconnaissance. We are going to have to go ahead and recon these tiles here just to make sure we can see things. Still one unit at Kianko. So one more turn will arrive down here. Yeah, we'll arrive there tomorrow. He's not moving over here as far as we can see. Poor weather over there, poor detection, so we don't know how much damage it caused the airfield, but it did report a few hits, so we're looking pretty good there. Okay. Yeah, so the good news is we are closing in on the north now. Yeah, he's moving there. What I could do with doing then is having units out this way. So I could divide that. As long as I control the actual hex itself, then it's fine. Those ones over here, they've been stood there for a long while, actually. That one, I think he attempted to... I don't know, he attempted to move, I can't recall where he attempted to move, actually. Moving south there to go ahead and deal with him. It'll take a while to get there, but it's not too bad. I would like that base, but we'll take that soon. I could send an armored unit out that way, perhaps. Okay. So I do have this I do have this armored unit over here then. Yunnan. Yunnan I think it's about 400 or so AV. The thing about Yunnan is I'm not too bothered about it right now anyway. What I'd like to do and what I prefer to do is capture the bases in the area so he would surrender when we attacked and he had nowhere to go essentially. Obviously he would retreat somewhere, but if we could cut off all the bases that he could retreat to, then they'd probably be fairly likely to surrender. Mao Zedong's bunker indeed, yeah. There's not that many bases in the area really. Once we take all these bases in northern China, he's got nowhere to go in northern China, which is quite nice. What I'm looking towards doing then is setting up a unit here. So, in fairness, what I could do with doing then is... Well, we need to kick that unit back. I'm in a bit of a rough spot right now. But if I could get a unit over here... We're alright then. I may have another armored unit brought down this way so we can actually just surround that. There's quite a few units over here, so I would probably need like a little bit more force to deal with that. But if I could surround them, then at least they would receive 0 supply, and then we could just keep attacking them, really. Or just bombing them, something of that nature. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Alright. We do have 1/16th. Yeah, so they're moving into the Hex and Ankang. Now, it is 152 AV, and it probably will be attacked. But that's not the worst thing in the world. It's still ×3 terrain, so they'll fight back. They might get beaten up, but I don't think they'll be as likely to be destroyed or anything of that nature. But the reason why we're doing that is to, one, fix him in position, well, fix him in position at Ankang, but also to actually reduce his supply. So obviously he's going to go into there, well, if he attacks us, he's going to use supply to attack us. And that's going to lessen the amount of supply he has in the actual core there. We're kind of banking on the fact that he's soon going to be receiving no supply via road. He will receive supply across the terrain, but it's going to be harder for him. So we'll have units sent out here to essentially isolate it. The core over here is powerful, but it's not... It's just in a bad position, really. It's not going to really be able to affect us too much. How the heck did he get by there? So that's where he's moving then. Okay. That's surprising. I do have a unit actually marching back that way. Yeah. If they would have been there today, okay, well that's kind of annoying. It's not the end of the world. And really it's... Ah, so he's moving units over here then. Okay. I see, I see. Well, we still have a brigade here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Right, so they'll be in Hex tomorrow then. We have obviously a unit here. So I control those Hex sites. What I need to do then is probably shift a brigade to here, then that brigade up to here, and then to here. I may go ahead and shift a division back to make sure we're properly covered there. What we'll do then is we'll attack over here, and then we'll shift one division back to make sure we're properly covered from any sort of threat there. There we go. The Changsha one can move on forward because it does have planning for Changsha, which is useful. Those Chinese units actually are 1 mile away from being in that Hex. So he got in there before us, which is a little bit unlucky. I do have the 11th Army here, which is nice. That does help us out considerably. And it's got 100% prep for Changsha, which is nice. A lot of these divisions actually do have really good prep for Changsha, which is handy. So they're soon going to be moved into Changsha. We do have this Chinese unit covering the road here. Yeah, he's trying to put pressure on the center here. But we do have forces that actually move into the area as well, so we'll be okay. How you doing there, BGG? Good to have you, my man. Good to have you indeed. I'm moving a unit back over here to then move it out. Well, I'm going to move a Malta unit here. I'm going to move a unit over here as well onto these roads. And what I want to do is essentially cover every approach to Canton when I can. And just really make it impossible for him to actually get into Canton without us really being able to stop it. Alright, okay. I did manage to actually get these units over here to Fuzhou. It seems they've not yet unloaded. Well, they are unloading. But yeah, obviously the difficulty of the port being bloody blasted to hell is kind of annoying. So none of them have landed here today. So it looks like it's going to take a while for them to land there. That is a bloody damaged port, which is really a pain in the arse. And there's only one day that I didn't have garrison, and then boom, kind of annoying. Ah, well, we'll have a garrison in there then soon anyway. There's 120 AV there to land, so we'll keep it garrisoned, which is fine. I do have a naval guard unit over here. Yeah, they're being loaded up with a SLF. So they do not need to move to Fuzhou anymore. Yeah, those partisans are a pain in the ass. Move that to Amoy. Yeah. And it does make sense, obviously, it's an occupied city. If you move out there, they are going to obviously do something about it. So there's nobody to stop them. Okay. It can be kind of funky sometimes. If you get partial garrison, that's when you're in a bad time as well. No garrison is obviously the worst thing in the world, but if you get to... Like, I've had garrisons fulfilled, like, for example, over here at Georgetown, we had, like, 10 AV, and it said garrison level met, and you're like, wait, what? Even though technically it's 19, it's actually still being met now. You're like, okay, sure. Right, okay. Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like in a game like this, you have to model it somehow. Otherwise, you could just abandon all the bases in China, perhaps. I mean, sure, you'd like have garrison damage. Well, you'd have partisan damage. But in fairness, you could be like, well, that's fine. I can deal with that. It's to make sure that, obviously, these areas did have to be held. Just to represent that to some extent, really. The VP loss is just if you don't have the base garrison, it doesn't matter about damage. If you don't have a garrison, you lose VP there. Yeah, like how Shiva says there. Okay. So we do have additional engineers moving south here, which is going to be very useful. So they're about 2 days. Do need them here. Yeah, they do need more aviation support. Once they get it, they'll be fine. Ah, right, I see. Alright, there we are. Tank has surprisingly made it so far. Which is pretty impressive, to be honest. Okay. So, it looks like he might have abandoned Soribaya, which is a pain, but I suppose there's not much I could have done about that. And we could have landed in the mountain hex with paratroopers, but I think they probably would have been defeated there. Well, yeah, possibly. I don't. Well, Babardar perhaps. I mean, he's wanted to cover this area here. And the wake operation's not too far out now. And lost sight of these ships that are down this way, which is a little bit annoying. Just prepare for it, really. Days. Certainly days. If that, really. See, it is encouraging to see that he still has assets down this way. It might be to try and make us believe that the carriers are still there, but honestly I really would love to see the carriers. We did have an inkling of ships near New Caledonia. We don't see them now, but it would be nice if we had some sort of confirmation of carriers. And because frankly the Rabaul area can look after itself significantly better than it can, well, than it has been able to do at any other point before this time now. So I'd like us to be in a position where... Well, it'd be nice if it did come into this way and we did get an opportunity to potentially hit him. That'd be nice. So we'll continue to hit Rabaul. Sorry, to continue to hit Port Moresby. That port damage varies really quite wildly. We are still hitting the airfield. Not had the greatest amount of luck so far, but I think that's been weather dependent, really. Well, that's it, isn't it? How are we going with the airfields then? 44 here, 60 here, which is nice. Yeah, I just need to move construction units out of Rabaul. We're just currently fortifying it. I do need more fuel over here, Vodrabal, and I do have a tanker. There we go, it's loaded up now. There's only 21,000 units of fuel here at truck, but the reason for that is it is stored away in AOs. So you can see that we have these guys full over here for the most part, or essentially nearly full. So we do have most of our fuel ready to go. And it is worthwhile doing that, because then obviously you can use it as you see fit, but it also means that should a threat appear on the horizon, you can actually have your fuel moved out, rather than be essentially held hostage to an extent. Okay, they're heading out that way. Oh, the Oilers. Yeah, there's quite a few here. I do have a large amount of ships in here, to be honest. Right, so Haruna is 16 days from being fully repaired, which is not too bad. The Congos have had a rough time of it so far, but I'm just glad they survived so far. It's been really nice. Haven't lost a PV this time, which is good. Lost CVs though, so I suppose you win some, you lose some. Yeah, moving out there to take these islands. Must do. Yeah, she's a nice one. Must do. Need some more engineers out here to build this. 7, jeez. That sounds like a fun time. And there's a rather large volume of fire weapon. Okay, so this is it really. We're just at a point. Well, we're just at a sort of point in time where we are waiting for the days to pass. Essentially, we will arrive here tomorrow, which is excellent. So once we do arrive here, then we will be sitting on the crossroads, and well, they're going to be cut off by a road. They can still receive supply, but it's going to be much harder for them. What I'll do is obviously have a unit sent here and a unit sent over here as well. Make it almost impossible for him to receive supply, and then if you could grab this hex over here, it would be impossible for him to get supply then. But we'll be here tomorrow. We do see that it's actually starting to march units to the north over here, then to Kyanko, which in fairness is not a bad thing. It was entirely expected, I suppose you could say. We do have 2 divisions that are moving towards this area here. Maybe a 3rd division will join them, not too sure about that. But not too far out from having 2 divisions push on the mountains over here. We are pushing in the Changshan area ourselves. He is obviously making it difficult for us, but it's not too bad really. What I'm going to do is begin marching this brigade back across here to Nanchang. The units in this area have been reduced as well, that's a good thing. The corps that were surrounding the base previously, we did go out there and we did hit them with our divisions as well. So they're weakened, so they're not as tough as they once might have been. So that's not too bad. We're getting there, slowly but surely we are getting there. Okay. 1 cow in time. 1 cow in time. It's one of those where I would like to have a BB to bombard it. Yeah, there's a decent amount of industry there, I do agree. The light and the heavy is quite nice. I'm going to wait essentially until we do have Haruna, but I might as well just make use of Haruna's big guns to actually bombard then. That would certainly help us out. Issei is 61 days. I mean, that was my... Yeah, that's a shame, there, because obviously I forgot about mines. He will have troops there. He's got to have at least 80 troops there. Oh, he'll lose VP. Oh, don't be mean. She's not ugly, she's just beautiful. In all the wrong ways. Fair enough. Also, we'll run reconnaissance over it beforehand. Yeah, so we do see that there's quite a lot of enemy troops over here. I mean, that's a lot of men there, 71,000 men there, apparently. How you doing, Alka? When you start bombarding with BBs, expect Dadman to flock submarines, and likely so. Ah. Yeah, well, this is the event, so we do see quite a bit of force there. Quite a few cores. Yeah, do mastery. Oh, right, so she crashes on land and that's why she was lost then. That's a shame. There we go, 15th Tank Regiment has arrived at Tokyo, so we can have a rebuild one. Just the support it needs right now. It's still North China Area Army. But in fairness, what I could do is I could have that actually, well, it's China Area Army. It's not very expensive to change its Kabanba, which is nice. So that one's easy enough to do. Well, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Okay. What does he try and buy out there? BG. BGGG. Alright. Yeah, they were set to bombard. Have them just set to defend. And we have an idea of what we're looking at now. Or what we're working with now, which is fine. Oh, right, I see. In fairness, you could break them into the detachments and buy them out that way. At least then you get a more AV rather than waiting for like a full division. You could eventually buy out the full division that way. May time, I think it is. Right, so we do have 35th Division now marching. So they're going to be marching north there. It may be, in fact, worthwhile to have the 35th march over here to Wuchang instead, especially as there is potential for a threat here. Possibly. And we do have the 57th Infantry Brigade marching north. 5th Army is going to be moving there shortly. I could leave her here. The support would be nice, however. We do have a mortar battalion that'll be there tomorrow too. It might be worthwhile just to have the actual headquarters in here, really. To give us more support would be nice. Yeah, well-supported troops do fare very well. Let's see. Just shy of 15,000 points right now. I mean, that's the beautiful thing there. By taking Langkao, we do take... Yeah, so we gain 300 victory points though, which is nice. Quite happy about that. So we capture here then 6,456 fuel. I mean, that's the thing, that fuel was essentially just going nowhere then, so it's just collecting here. But the beautiful thing is that fuel can be used to actually power the industry, fuel the industry, and actually fuel Japan, which is very nice. The oil would be the most appreciated thing, though. He's given us that ability. Yeah, that supply will come in handy when you push further north. And the thing is, we're going to be using tanks. The tanks don't need that much supply when compared to, like, divisions and etc. Like, let's see, 187 supply they required over a month. Obviously, when they're in combat, they use that, essentially. Oh, yeah, the tanks move significantly faster. And the Chinese really have... I don't think there's any AT guns beyond this point now. There's one core over here at Sining. And Sining, that is another 300 victory points, which is nice. Yeah, that one I'm going to send a tank regiment to go take that. Okay. The good news is, if we take a look, we do have our red wall over here, and I do want to essentially... Eventually, I would like to make sure we do have a line across here, just to make it impossible for supply to move out this way. But you can imagine just how expensive it would be for supply to move from here to this point over here. Through mountains, it'd be very, very expensive. It might arrive, but it's not going to arrive very often, and in large amounts either. These guys are in a worse position, and when I take that base, when I take these bases over here, it's just going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. Right, so what I'm going to do then is take the weaker one here. I'm actually saying that it's one of those where I wish I could actually break these guys up. I do have a detachment heading north over here to fill the garrison requirements, so it'll be alright. Let's see. Do have knife tank. Maybe I do. Well, then again, this is it. I might have them head back there, perhaps. We'll see about that. I do have my tank regiment over here that can begin marching south, which is nice. How you doing there, layman? I think so. I've never personally seen it, but apparently it does happen. Well, that's it, isn't it? He has less and less supplies as well, which is nice. And as we push into Burma, I think the Burma road has been shut for some time now. But, yeah. Once we have Burma, that's the Burma road well and truly shut off, and especially being able to move supply across here from these bases anyway is shut off and as a possibility for him. But he has no fuel, barring what might come out this way. That's the only fuel he'll be getting is from this side now. And he might be wanting to try and get that fuel into China. I wouldn't put it past him. But the good news is, as we move into this area here, then, well, we'll be able to stop that. It can't pass this way now. Once we take Mandalay, it can't pass that way. The way it would pass would be this way. And, like, down this way. So when we take that base, it gets easier. We're just trying to isolate and starve China at this point as well, which is nice. Yeah. So this is it. He might be marching a large amount of men north, but in fairness, that does make it tough for him as well. Because frankly, if he's fighting battles, he's using a lot of supply. And he's going to lose a lot. Yeah. Okay. So I do need a garrison there. I do need... I mean, this is it. I don't think there's a tremendous threat from the air, but we know that he does have bombers out this way. So I do need to go ahead and actually get... yeah, look at that. 7,000 oil there. It's a lot of oil. And we do need to actually get some fighters over here. I do have an aviation battalion moving north. They're not that far away. 10th Division is marching north. Looks like they might have been hit by aircraft, actually. I think they were. But those aircraft are gone now, so we'll have no problems. We take this base over here now, which is good. There's nothing here. I don't need to garrison it, thankfully. But it's not too bad, because in fairness, I could potentially build an airfield up if I wanted to here. It could actually have a Side 4 airfield, which is not too bad at all, really. And maybe it is worthwhile building that up at some point in the future, because we could use that to potentially bomb here into the Chungking Basin. But I doubt it's going to happen. I doubt it's going to be required, really. Where are your supply sinks in China to move that oil to? Well, the biggest ones would be Port Arthur or Shanghai. Let's see. It might be heading to Port Arthur. Yeah, we have 300,000 units of oil over here at Arthur. It's likely where it's heading. Shanghai has heavy industry, but it has no refineries. Port Arthur has refineries, which is why it's probably going to be heading there, because there's obviously a real need for that oil. But in fairness, it's not too bad at all, really. The beauty is once we do take China, and that is not too far away. I can't see it being too far away. And once we do have China, we can actually have all of our forces essentially go into rest and training mode, which reduces their supply requirement, and obviously when we're not fighting in battles, we're using far less in the way of supply. So then, China actually becomes probably capable of looking after its own supply needs for the most part, especially if there's no combat, then it could probably look after itself. Which allows us to actually... Well, yeah, it's going to be quite good. It'd be interesting to take a look at the economics of it and see how that looks when we get to that point. Well, that's it, isn't it? It's like Xi'an, it would have been nice to have had Xi'an taken intact, but hey, oh well. But we do have Xi'an here. The oil is being repaired, so you can see that we have 9 oil here at Xi'an as well. So, I mean, that's like 99 oil there. So, one more oil repair tomorrow, and we'll have another Samarinder essentially in northern China. Which, I mean, this is it. Samarinder's not huge, but it's well worthwhile. I might think I need it. Yeah, exactly. Urumqi is over here, which has the 51 oil as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead. Wow, I'm going to stop doing the double speak. We'll go ahead and grab that oil. A decent amount of industry in the north, decent amount of resources as well. Yeah, looking pretty good. Just got to keep pushing it as much as we can. I don't imagine we'll have an automatic victory. I just don't imagine it'll happen, because we still need to have quite a large amount of VPs to get close to that. Well, it's kind of like 2-to-1 VP ratio. I think we need to have something like 3 or 4-to-1. But who knows, if we do eventually... I don't know. It's one of these, if we had some big gains, like if we ended up like sinking a couple carriers or something like that, or ships, and like a successful naval engagement, that'd be nice. Let's gotta hope for the best, really. So in terms of industry then, you can see now 29, 25, I think we were previously at 24,000 units of oil. And we now have 25,690 units of oil there. 29,565 refinery. We have a lot of refinery capability. It's no problem to refine the oil, it's just having said oil is the problem there. Right, okay. So naval shipyard points are building up slowly. Obviously, I'm not going to have a pool there. I might... I don't know. Is it worthwhile expanding naval shipyard? Probably not. Probably not. Okay, we'll take a look at our R&D today. Oh, so close. So close. Well, we do have another 2 A6 and 2 Ns over here at 29. So when they reach 30, then they can be converted to the A6M8, which is nice. Evidently, we'll be making 4% per day. You can see that we are making percentage points towards the A6M8, which is nice. It's getting closer, getting closer. Let's see. So we have all the Helens now, which is good. So we get 3% each turn there. We will be culling some of these Key 83s that only have 1 progress. The Key 84 Franks are doing pretty damn good, actually. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm expanding Singapore to 100,000 tons of capacity. But in fairness, I've captured a lot of oil fields and a lot of things intact, so I do have essentially a bit of a glut of supply, which is nice. Yeah, so I ideally get those 2 roofies tomorrow. I mean, that'd be excellent. It would essentially double the gain towards the A6M8 overnight from 2 to 4%. But it adds up. It does add up. We did put another 2 A6 and 2 roofies onto this as well. We expected to have more progress by this point, but we've had some pretty bad rolls here. The percentage at the moment of the A6M8 is only 9%, so it will add up. Let's get in there, though. Let's get in there. We're not going to build the roofie, essentially. I think we'll have the roofie. I think it could be built if we so wish to do so. But I don't plan to build the roofie. I think we might get some as reinforcements or just get some given. But I'm not going to go ahead and build the roofie, really. We want the A6M8 as quickly as possible, really. Yeah. Yeah, they get their own squadrons. Yeah, that's nice. So the Ha-35s are getting there now. We're at 260 engines a month right now. But there's a pretty hefty first the Ha-35. I don't know, I do consider potentially expanding the vehicles, but I'm not too sure if I need to bother, actually. I've seen a few ARs where people do talk about the vehicles, but then again, I don't really plan to upgrade tanks in that way. Maybe we upgrade certain regiments, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to bother doing that, really. I'm not too sure. It's one of these of the Japanese tanks aren't exactly great. So I might just want to keep as many of them as I can. Even if they are poor, it's better to have a tank than no tank. But I'm not too sure on that. Maybe, maybe certain ones will have upgraded. Is the R&D for tanks? Oh no, there's sadly no R&D for tanks. It'd be cool if there was, like, but nah. Type 97 medium tank production stops in 42.6. Okay. Oh well. Okay. Right, so we built 5 Aces and 2s today. We are building less Oscars because we're trying to actually reduce the engine requirement for the Ha-35s to make sure we do produce the 5 zeros there each turn. Jake's obviously good. Jake production is going well. Okay. Well, I mean, this is it, isn't it, really? We've had a lot of things go our way recently, which is nice. I mean, we had the fall. I think the biggest thing that we had, and I know it sounds kind of daft, because in some ways, in Malaya going. I mean, this is it. The interesting thing is, it was Malaya where we first saw him really behaving oddly when it came to the ground front. It was in Malaya where we had things prepared, we had things set up in such a way that we were ready for him to begin to move immediately, and then he never did, which was interesting. And then we moved on to the island of Luzon. Obviously, we did land forces at Luzon. But if you guys remember, we did have a temporary halt over here at Began. Sorry, San Fernando and Began. But we did actually build fortifications up to level 2. And over here, we built up fortifications. Well, we were going to potentially do that. But we moved to here, and then we halted. Because we're like, right, okay. We don't want to move out before we have reinforcements because he could attack us with a lot of numbers there. And then we moved, and nothing happened. And then we moved and nothing happened. And then we eventually got to Clark. Well, he did have a lot of forces, but we just had... I think the role at Clark just... I think that really accelerated things there considerably. Because that's it. Once Clark fell, that was the toughest point in all of Luzon gone. And then from there, it was a couple days of Manila, and then that was done. And then Bataan fell on the first day, really. But that's allowed so many forces to be able to be moved out elsewhere. Like, we're going to have it... Well, we've already got a division underway. 38th Division is moving out here towards Vietnam. I may take another division. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'll take another division and have it sent out towards Vietnam as well. I would like to have at least 2 divisions down here for Mindanao. Once I do finish this guy up over here, which we'll have to do that. I probably will have to just get the 21st Division to attack. But I would like to get a little bit more Navy down there, so I might have the 65th Brigade sent to join it. But in fairness, it's at a point now where I could probably go in here and just bombard with ships in the area, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, Mindanao is one of those where it's not extremely important, but it is still worthwhile taking. It's good because that would remove the last bastion of American power in the Philippines, besides these islands over here, which we are going to be taking. I'm not so keen on Mindanao because I have to garrison it as well then. Which is a bit of a pain. But we're looking quite good. I mean, we have definitely turned. We were originally going to begin to try to move on to India. Yeah, well that's it exactly. But the focus is going to be China now. Yes, I'm sending a light cruiser and 2 DDs. I've also detached an element of the G4M1s from Babaldwab to head over here to Bagan. So they're going to run naval search so we can keep an eye on them. And even attack them if needs be. In fairness, we will have carriers moving out this way towards Wake, so we'll pick up on them soon enough. Well, the thing is there, Parmentier, he has his forces essentially gathered over here to Gagayan. So I'll send in at least 2 divisions, and at least 2 divisions will have it, really. Obviously, we'll have other forces used as well to capture the bases around there. Did you get the Type 3 in 1944? Is the Type 3 a submarine? Or a tank? It sounds like a tank. No, we're looking pretty good. Tank, fault zone. Sound like a tank. Okay. Okay, good to know. No, we're doing alright actually. Doing alright. I do have the garrison units over here that's arrived, which is nice. So the 11th garrison unit then will be moved out to Manila. We do need an operation against Port Moresby soon, actually. He's linked in Van Hex there, but that's no threat right now. Okay, that movement's going to take him a while, but it's fine. There's no real rush on that one. Lay is almost repaired now. There's only a few more points of damage there. Lay to repair, then we'll be good to go. Well, it's been great. We do need more supply movement into this area, but we're not too far away now. Okay. The hope that we have against armor, and what we plan to do against armor is really use the Key 45 Nick. Which is, whereabouts are you, Key 45? Here we go. Yeah, the plan is to use the Key 45 Nick, which I can't remember which version we're working on. That one has a 20mm there. Which one are we working on again? Right. That's interesting. Oops, I'm going to the wrong place here. KA1A, okay. I suppose we could always upgrade it when it's available, if we so wish to do so. But that's it, we don't potentially have to. Let's see. The Nick's going to be fantastic, frankly. There is different versions of Nick, like there's a Nick over here that has a 37mm cannon. I can't recall which Nick we wanted to go for. It might be that, actually, let's see here. We have the A Nick. So that's the 20mm there. Whether we stick with that one or whether we change it to another Nick, I'm not too sure. Actually, I'll have to... it's mostly Infinite Monkeys R&D, so I do need to double check with him on that one. Because we have, like, the 37mm there. And that's quite good against anti-armor. But I was saying that... Yeah, the oh no, that's the wrong one. The 20 still has a decent amount of penetration there. Essentially what we'll be doing then is, what we're kind of be doing then is using the Nicks as, well, they are fighter bombers, but essentially what we'll be doing then is using the Nicks as essentially bombers, but capable of looking after themselves, really. We'll also use them in ground attack. The reason why they're going to be awesome on ground attack is because, well, they've got a decent speed. Cruise is not bad. Altitude doesn't particularly matter that much. Climb doesn't matter that much. Maneuver's not bad. Well, it doesn't need to, really. The maneuver's not too bad, really. I mean, a lot of later aircraft do have that sort of maneuver, but it's got durability that most Japanese aircraft do not have, but it's armored as well, which is very nice. So it's one of those aircraft where Allied aircraft, well, Allied fighters are going to have a bit of a run for their money. The good news is it actually does carry a decent bomb load. I mean, 500 kilograms of bombs, it's not bad. But yeah, having those, that 20mm there, having those 12.7s, it can look after itself. It's going to be quite useful. I'm not too sure if we would like to go on to a different version of the Nick, maybe. I mean, this version of the Nick has a 37mm cannon. I think it's this Nick that we're going to ultimately be moving towards. I can't recall, however. I mean, that one's available from December. I can't recall, really. It is actually pinned. If you go to, like, the first strike of the Homeland chart, and you look at the pins, you can see how the R&D was initially. The R&D really has been geared towards the Key 83 with quite a few other things as well, but we are changing it as we go on, really. We've always planned to do that. I can't remember what the exact aircraft models we are looking for. Going to check the stats of those guns? Yeah, sure. Is this C over here? I don't know if it's a particular version I would wish to have. And the 37 might be worthwhile going for, but I can't recall which one we're going for. Yeah, but they're going to come in very handy. Well, I mean, this is it. But if you attack enough, you'll eventually hit. There is a pretty crazy one around here somewhere. Is it? It's not. Well, the SAM has a ridiculous amount. I mean, look at that one there. The upward facing 30 mils crazy. Oh, dear. Yeah, it does remind me of the 110 in a way. The M lever. There's a certain one here. Oh, it's the Denko. Oh, the Denko actually has... Okay. The Denko's got these two 37s there. That's the Night Fighter. It's not the Shinden. There's one that has like a ridiculously big gun. I can't remember which one it is now. I'm sure we have one with like a stupid gun. Yeah, there we go. We've got the Randy there that has like a 57mm there. That thing's kind of crazy. Is there a bigger one? I feel like there might be a bigger one, but I think it might be on the Allied side when they get a bigger one. Yeah, the Peggy, indeed. Oh, the Peggy. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Key 109 Peggy. I see the Key 7 Peggy, but I don't see a Key 109 Peggy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, the 75mm. Yeah, that one's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, that one's crazy. It comes so late, though, and it has, like, a high source rating. Oh, I didn't think you get, like, spam. Yeah, 75mm is interesting. I think the Allies get a bigger one than that. I'm not too sure. It's just a shitload of 50 cals. Yeah, okay. So is this one over here that has a 75 then? They may not get larger than a 75. Let's go to 75 as well. I think the 75, is that the largest they get? I think that might be the largest there. Close enough. I do like the Black Widow. It's such a cool looking aircraft. Okay. Get the one with the HO-2 337 or the Type 98. Yeah, I'm going to have to obviously speak with Infinite and just double check which one we're going for. It depends really if we want to get them out sooner rather than later, but we'll double check. It's me just forgetting. He's told me about it a million times, but I forget. Hey, don't know bad. Good to have you, my man. Let's see. Ho-203. Right, does it have superior accuracy or is it just better? Other Type 98. What's Type 94? I see, so we have two with the Type 94 then. Yeah, so many different nicks. That's the endurance, gun value. And that's a night fighter in fairness. The Ho-203 and the Type 98 have the same stats and are more accurate than the Type 94. Ah, right, I see. That arrives pretty late though. Yeah, most likely is that we go for... That one we may go for the 37mm. It's probably this one that we intend to go for, really. That'll probably be our tank attacker. Or our tank killer. Yeah, it's nice that they have the ground pound bombs there. It's going to be quite good. I mean, that would actually be quite nasty strafing an enemy airfield as well. That's a nice thing. But it's just, yeah, they have that durability and they have that armor, which is cool. Ah, that's intriguing events. He's actually moving more units out here to Darwin. I wonder if he's actually going to go ahead and build up Darwin. That's interesting. If he does, then that's going to be a tasty meal for us. Interesting. Okay. And I do intend to bombard Darwin in the near future, actually. I'd have to see how many units begin there to start with at Darwin. That's an interesting move. That's what I like about Dadman is, well, he does some interesting things, but he doesn't give up on the fight, really. It's like, even over here, it's like, how many of you would have been like, yeah, let's go ahead and land some tank divisions, well, some tank battalions on the coast of Burma. Do we need a port? No, we don't need a port. We're just going to do it. We're going to do it under the full stern gaze of Japanese torpedo bombers and somehow evade them all and give us the stiffy on that one. And then I'm going to move in against multiple divisions. I love the fact that he continues to fight. It is odd. Don't ask me his ground strategy. I just do not understand it half the time. But I kind of feel like that might be the intent there. Stiffy. Okay, one more day we'll have the AA regiment there, so I can go ahead and attack this. I don't know, it's an interesting one, really. He's certainly lost a lot in China so far. We'll just have to continue to oblige him and carry on, really. Yeah, it's a few days there. A couple of tanks could just take all of northern China, which is nice. Indeed. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and call it about here then. I've been talking for a while longer than I needed to, really. Mostly because I enjoyed it, and I know it's probably going to be maybe tonight at best, but very much likely tomorrow. Now we get onto the turn again. But the thing about the 75 and the 57 for the Jap planes, they are more accurate and have the same accuracy as the 37. The 75 is double as effective as the 37. That's awesome. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have you guys. If you guys are not subscribed here, please potentially do consider becoming a Twitch subscriber. That would be awesome. Especially if you have Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you any extra, and it does help support me as a content creator. But yeah, there's also those of you on YouTube. Hi, how you doing there on YouTube? Until next time, I am Minasai, even though it's not nighttime. So, sayonara.